Your book ends with your decision to leave the civil services.
Correct.
And things come to a head because you are simply not getting along with your political boss, the Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman. This is well documented in your book. And there are a series of different sort of incidents. And at one point, the minister says to you that you treat her like a bachchi and you have been quote unquote bitching about her. You say that this is not true, but you feel that she has her mind made up already. Let's start there. What went wrong between you as Finance Secretary and Nirmala Sitharaman as Finance Minister?
See, Barkha, I worked with many ministers and she was my maybe 25th or 26th minister. So it's not unusual for an officer to work with the ministers. Right? Before her, it was Arun Jaitley for 2 years. Piyush Goyal also came in between. So that is what changed was that when she came over as finance minister, possibly the feedback or anything she got made her a little biased towards me. She started feeling that.
Shuru se.
I think right from the beginning, when we were briefing her on the day one of her arrival, I could see the vibes, the body language or something, where she seemed to be sort of getting a sense that one of the things was that she probably felt that I was running the finance ministry, where she is a very articulate, dominating, an effective kind of minister and who would like to be seen that she runs the show. If that is where she would start, so to say, and those were very high sort of charged kind of situation. Budget was to be delivered only in 35 days. There was G20 summit in Japan, the month of June. Finance minister was to go, then prime minister was to go. Many other things were also happening. So in that surcharged kind of atmosphere, if she made up that kind of mind, so slowly, in about 2 weeks' time or so, this came out that she started venting her bit of frustration, so to say.
Why did she feel you treated her like a bachchi and you were quote unquote bitching about her? She said this to you, right?
That's what she said.
Did she say this to you in so many words?
Exactly. That's what I have quoted. So before that, on that day, that fateful day, so to say, there was a meeting with which we have pre-budget consultations. And at one point of time, she said, don't think I can't violate you in public before the other ones.
Let's describe that meeting because you write about it in your book. It's a pre-budget meeting with stakeholders.
Correct.
And in this meeting, she turns around to the group and says that she will go by your opinion because you've been there for a long time and you're much older than her. And then in this same meeting, per your book, she turns to you and says, don't think I can't violate you.
Correct.
What does this mean actually?
So this is what gave me a little bit of sort of confused message that she's struggling, probably inside herself. At one moment, she says that she'll go by what I'm suggesting or saying. And in another minute, she turns around and say that don't think I can't violate. And all in the public. You never
How did you react?
So I just kept my cool. And after that meeting, I went to her room. And that is where this encounter kind of thing, she was literally beside herself, not in control of herself.
She was livid, you say in the book.
Livid, of course. And
what did you do to make her livid?
No, this is the background.
Do you think, no, I know, but do you think there was any particular issue or attitude or disagreement that made her this livid?
I think there are a number of things. For example, I also described the serious difference of opinion about how the RBI surplus issue was to be handled.
Correct.
She wanted me to retract, not put a dissent note. I said, ma'am, I'll do it only if you give me in writing. But she wouldn't give in writing. There were many other policy issues coming up. Something happened in Japan, which I also described. So there was a background to it. And on top of it, perhaps a lot of briefing which she got from others about the way probably I had spent 2 years, and Arun Jaitley's time was one where the minister was literally taking a back seat, in the sense that he was also a little unwell and for all these reasons, and he had a different view about how to run. He used to say that it's the secretary's job to run the finance ministry. My job is to look at the basic big policy issues and nothing more. And in that against that background, the way we were running it, we will write budget speech, for example, and then the minister will only contribute whatever additional or changes she wants. So all of this, I think, gave her an impression. That's where, and
she thought you were too big for your boots.
Maybe. And that is where I was surprised to hear this.
Did you ever sort of try and reason it out with her and say, ma'am, you have the wrong impression. Why are you angry?
That's exactly, I went for that. Because after that episode in the
stakeholders meeting,
I went precisely for this, to say that we have a budget to deliver. You may not be liking me for whatever reasons, and after the budget things may change. I might be moved somewhere else or whatever. And if you have anything else in mind what to do about it, we can readjust the way we work in the ministry. But if you are sort of faced with a situation where the other side, the minister, feels so charged up, so to say, and start saying you are not sort of attuned or prepared to hear this kind of language. So that surprised me. In fact, I in a way apologized to her. I said, if I have done anything, knowing or unknowingly, let me know. Then she said, no, I'll go by what you say, and you continue to do what you're doing. Simultaneously, she went to, maybe before, maybe after, to the Prime Ministers to say that this man should be removed.
And I think at one point you say that Nripendra Mishra, who's then the big boss in the Prime Minister's office, does tell you that she's complaining about you.
Absolutely.
And therefore you cannot be there. But before you can actually be sent to another posting in the long run, you describe an episode in your book with where things come to a head, and in your mind you decide, your book ends with that note, that is the day I decided to leave the IAS, leave the civil services. What happened?
Correct. So I'm used to, or maybe any civil servant is used to, working with different kind of ministers. So, and transfers are a very normal thing in our life. I might have been transferred 25 times earlier also. And in circumstances worse than that. So that's not a big deal. And my mental makeup is one where I treat every posting to be same. So it doesn't matter to me whether I am working at X place or Y place. So if she was to engineer the transfer, doesn't matter. I would have, but two things happened. One, which I describe here, is that a note sheet, in government system, the note sheet portion is something where the officers or anybody else expresses his or her opinion, because that's for posterity, that's for everything, right? So whatever you feel, you state. And your boss may disagree with you. You get overruled, doesn't matter. That becomes a decision. But everything must remain on that file for posterity to see how that kind of decision was taken. And in a matter where I had a different opinion, which she initially agreed, but the Prime Minister and in PMO had another opinion. So we said, fair enough. Whatever is the decision, let's record it. The decision was recorded. But she wouldn't sign that file. She made the then DFS Secretary, Rajiv, to rewrite the whole note sheet.
So basically, just to explain this to our audience.
It. That is something which I had never done in my life. And I thought if this becomes a kind of norm, If this becomes a kind of thing, so that is not where you.
So the minister was not comfortable or not willing to sign files which had disagreements by civil servants on them. And in this particular case, she wanted those disagreements to be removed from the file.
Absolutely.
And you write in your book that you had never done anything like this before, but you went along with it because it was budget time and you didn't want to jeopardize the budget.
I made my decision.
But you decided at that time
yes,
that you were going to quit.
Absolutely.
Do you regret that decision sometimes?
No, I am absolutely happy about it.